Well, then we get out of neutral. Now we're into first gear. And first gear, I call doing ministry. You're doing the stuff. You're making things happen, you're connecting to people, and you're growing to 30 people, to 40 people, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 people. You're doing the ministry. Great. But right around that 100 people mark, it starts getting harder. You're doing something over here. You're doing something over here. You're spreading yourself thinner and thinner and thinner while I'm visiting people here and I'm leading this Bible study there and I'm doing this ministry, I'm doing this planning, and I'm doing all these different things. But once we're at our 100, there's so many things to do and something's going to go wrong. And when this goes wrong, I'm neglecting that. And then, oh, well, then that goes wrong and I need to fix that. And now people are starting to fall through the cracks and I only have so many hours in a day and I can only connect with so many people. So even if I do get over 100 for a little while, it's going to slide right back down. Getting stuck at 100 is the most common place to get stuck at. And quite frankly, the 100 barrier is the hardest barrier to break. And for several reasons. Number one, everything depends on you. I mean, literally, that's how we got over the 50 barrier. Everything depends on you and the people appreciate it. Wow, they sit back and they watch you doing all this amazing stuff and they love it. Whew, this is great. Number two, everything depends on you and you appreciate their appreciation. Hey, there's a benefit of being in this zone. You're running around doing everything, people appreciate it and they show their appreciation. They tell you we can never do this without you. They tell you that nobody visits like you visit, nobody prays for me like you pray for me, nobody gives me counsel like you gives me counsel. Wow, they feed our ego here and that helps us keep us stuck. Number three, why we get stuck here is often others don't want to help. Yeah, we'd want to share the burden, but people don't want to volunteer. We don't have the volunteers. People don't want to help. They're happy to come and enjoy the show and watch the monkey dance, but hey, they don't want a piece of that. So we get stuck. And even when people do volunteer, they don't do it very well. And when you figure out how you're spending your time, by the time it takes to pull teeth and phone people and try to get one volunteer, try to train that volunteer, and then that volunteer do a job that's not really as good as yours, you know, it's just so much easier, so much faster, so much efficient if I just do it myself. And that's why churches perpetually get stuck here and can get stuck here for decades because everything works against you. Well, there's a mindset that keeps us locked at these barriers. See, when you're stalling as a church at this 100 barrier, what people in the church look at it, and quite frankly, you might do this too, is they make a number of assumptions. First is that ministry should be done by the minister. Well, it seems obvious. That's why we call it ministry, because the minister does it. This is natural, this is normal, this is the way we've been doing things for hundreds of years. This is what we expect. Ministry is done by the minister. Pastoral care is done by the pastor. Once again, it's literally in the word. Pastor does pastoral care. That's why we call it pastoral care, because the pastor does it. So you're the one who has to do the praying. You're the one who has to do the visiting. You're the one who has to do the counseling. It's all on you. And that's what a good shepherd does. Then, quite frankly, when they call you a shepherd, they've got a very specific thing in mind. And that is a Sunday school picture of an idealized shepherd. So this is somebody, and you've seen the picture, where you've got this gentle shepherd, you know, with a lamb in his arms and he's petting the sheep. That's what they think your job is. You're this idealized shepherd and your job is to pet the sheep. That's what you're supposed to do. And if you're not petting the sheep, you're not a real shepherd. And our whole understanding of shepherding comes from that Sunday school picture. Well, what's the sheep's job? Well, the sheep's job, obviously, is to receive the pets. Your job is to pet sheep, their job is to receive the pets. When this is the mentality in your church is going to stall. Well, how do we continue to accelerate? We got to change our mindset. And quite frankly, a more biblical mindset, where ministry is done by the members. Remember our job description in Ephesians 4? It's to equip the people for good works, not for us to do good works instead of the people. Ministry should be done by the members. Our job is to equip them to do the ministry. Pastoral care is done by the people. We're equipping them to pray for people, them to visit people, them to heal people. That's what we're supposed to do. A pastor is like a shepherd, of course, but not a Sunday school painting, but an actual shepherd. I don't know if this has occurred to you or not, but shepherds exist. Like it's an actual real job. You actually make money at it. They're entrepreneurs that they manage to feed their families and make a profit at it. And what do real, actual professional shepherds do? What is their job? To multiply their flocks. That's what they do. Yeah, they lead sheep, they feed sheep, they protect sheep in order to multiply their flocks. Why do the sheep exist? What's their job? Their job is to multiply. When we move out of this dance monkey dance kind of ministry model into your job is to equip people for the ministry, wow, things start taking off and you get out of that stall.